Hello everybody, welcome back to Boat Crew. We're going to pick up where we last left off. As you guys saw, that video was a little longer than I thought it was the last time. Let's see here, there it is. Load up our save here, and we'll get back into it. Hopefully this time I can, actually hit something with a torpedo. I'm still not exactly sure how you aim them, but, just part of course. We have our torps reloaded. Yes, we do. Let's go to Loggy and see if we can't hit them in their port again. Honestly, I'm just going to keep bouncing back and forth, launching torps until I maybe hit something. Because if nothing else, it's good practice for aiming. Alright, everybody's going to their stations. Work. We appear to be out in the water. Let's go for these two. Take a pot shot there. And I'll just drop that one there. And then I'll get the hell out of here. Flanking speed so I can get out of here hopefully before I'm spotted. I believe I've been spotted. Torpedoes going in. That one's a miss. Is that one a hit? Ah, right off the front of it. So close. Closer than I had been getting. I was like completely missing before. And I didn't take any fire either. Let's give them a couple of hours so then they'll relax. And then hit them again. Engage before they realize I'm here. It's daytime, so be a bit more cautious. Drop a torp there. And let's drop this torp all the way out here. And run away again. Shells incoming. Take a base of action. Let's get out of here. Maybe. I don't think that one will hit. That boat's a lot faster than I thought it was, but that one might. Yeah, I got a hit. First hit. Knocked out a coastal bombard. Perfect. Alright, now let's make ourselves scarce. I know there's going to be RP in the water. I should scavenge, but I can't. There's too many enemy forces there. Let's go reload torps. Coming again. Like I said, we're just going to keep raiding this one to try to get rid of as many enemy ships as possible. Specifically these bombards. I'm gonna launch one there just in case they turn from noticing me because they are rear launched. I think I've been spotted. Yep. Make ourselves scarce. Ooh, that was close. Would like to see if any of those torpedoes are gonna get close, but I might have to just focus on taking evasive action. Ah, dang. Nothing good. Let's get out of here. Considering the time of day, I don't think I'll be doing another raid on this one again. Let's see if I can't take down a couple of these smaller ships that are trying to pursue me. Preferably without getting nailed by a bombard. There's a patrol boat. Uh-oh. Ooh. Alright, now let's make ourselves scarce. I would take out more of those river boats, but there's just too much shelling from those bombards and the shore battery. Mainly from the bombard and then that sub chaser. Especially that bombard. That's who's launching those burst shells, the bombard. Ugh. Go, 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 go. Riverboats might be blocking me from leaving. General idea you want to do is come in at night, throw in some of those smaller torps that have better tracking, and then bail. But let's get out of the strike zone. There's so many of those smaller boats following me. And it's the last strike I'm able to do against this base at the moment. Get on out of here. But we got a bombard. I can be pretty pleased with that. Let's go back down south to Avuvu, Ulawa, Epio, Asmane, all those areas, and scout those all out. And then we'll see which one's the weakest. I'm pretty sure they're all going to be like at least 24, 25-ish area. But I also want to see if I can't get a bit more RP to try to get the Mark 14s. Hello? Is that a convoy? Merchant ship. Perfect. Let's see if I can hit something. If I can hit it, that's a lot of RP to get. Okay, he's like 4,000 out. I should wait till I get closer. Now, the aim reticle is bright red, so in my head I'm thinking it's ready to go, but I still don't know whether that's correct or not. So I'm going to close range a bit more. Get in like 3,000 meters, and then I'll launch a right side torp. Okay. And then a left side torp, and let's bank away so hopefully he won't do any evasive maneuvers. No evasive maneuvers means higher chance of torp hits. And if the merchant ship is hit and starts going down, I'll engage the other small boats and collect all that RP. So if the aiming reticle is true, these should hit. Especially since he hasn't spotted me. Okay, they've seen the torpedo wake. The spotlights are looking. Looks like those might impact toward the rear. Yeah, one impact. Two impacts on the rear with a catastrophic explosion on the rear deck. Perfect. Now let's hang out and see if she goes down. If she goes down, we'll go and engage the small boats. Yep, she's going down. Perfect. Alright, let's move in and engage these river boats. Clear these guys out and get the loot. It's funny because the spotlight's still looking for me. I find the static flags on the back of the boats kind of amusing. Let's deal with some patrol boats. That one's a river boat. That one is a patrol boat, maybe? No, those are both river boats. All three of these look like they're river boats, maybe. Regardless, we can engage these with guns and clear them out, get all that precious RP, and get some better torps. Not better damage-wise, but I want stuff that's faster and has a little bit of tracking, because it's really hard for me to manual aim those. And they're a little underpowered. If I can at least get some Mark 14s, I can slam much bigger ships and kill them more efficiently. Getting within range. Engaging. Light him up. There goes the other patrol boat. Let's get the last one and get that RP. Light him up. Perfect. Strike zone is clear. Let's not go over the boat corpse and flip. I have done that before. It's like one of the few things I distinctly remember about playing this game is when I have done stuff like that. Alright, perfect. Good chunk of RP out of that. Let's get close enough to Apio to get enough info. Perfect. Let's go to Ulawa. I definitely seem to be building up ship fleets around this zone. We'll have to be cautious of that. Let's go to Hada and trade our torpedoes. Pretty sure that's our carrier fleet there, maybe. Alright, let's go for torpedoes, and let's go with these is it the Mark 24s? It's an acoustic torpedo. Stopping power, incredibly effective and lightweight. Has acoustic guidance. So they're much smaller, but they can still hit hard enough for our purposes because we're still pretty early on. Do I want the depth charge? We're not seeing supply submarines yet, so I don't think we need those. How are we doing on supplies? I think we're fine on supplies for the moment. Okay. Let's see here. Let's go to Abu Abu and well, no, let's go out to Renel and Belonia and see if we can't just raid the coastline there to try to get our fleets to take these islands, so that's not a threat anymore. Yeah, there's our carrier fleet up there hitting Asmane. Get to Renel. Let's just do some minor coastal raiding here, just blast away some towers and whatnot. Whenever they're just the basic level light defenses, it's surprisingly easy to get rid of some of the defenses. Later game though, it becomes near impossible. You need a fleet to hit anything. Because the game's objective isn't just to hold the most territory, it's just to sink as many ships as possible. But I like having these kinds of bases all bottled up so then my invasion fleets can move in easier. Because even though you don't need more land, it makes sense for you to have more land because that also means easier time supplying and less areas for the Japanese to turn them into major strategic holds. Like, I don't want these islands down here turning into one of those fortresses, because then they might start sending out ships to hit my supply lines. Like, for reinforcing ships and whatnot, and that's not something I'm willing to put up with. Let's see here. We'll have to keep an eye out for torpedo nets and other stuff like that. Which is another thing that did change since the last time I played. The Japanese destroyers now have these thing called beehive shells. They're meant as a flak type shell. Let's get some distance from targets here. Sheet guys are tearing us up. Come on, gunners. The destroyers have these things called beehive shells, which are supposed to be flak. Light it up. There goes that sandbag nest. Let's get rid of whatever this is, because this thing hurts, whatever it is. I can't even see it through there. Let's try that up. Yeah, that makes sense. It is a AAA position. Don't know why they were bothering shooting at me on the ground with it, though. Wouldn't think the gun arc would be able to reach, but that's fine. Another AA position, maybe? No, it's just a watchtower. Okay, it looks like the mortars are still firing at me, but I'm not going to bother going all the way up there for the mortars. I'm just going to hit this, and then I'm going to run. Because I did take a bit of damage there. And you can't capture anything by yourself. Perfect. So that should have put a sizable dent in the enemy's strategic defenses. Yeah. Went from 24 down to 17. Let's go back up to Hada. Oh, there's several fleets moving around there toward Malapa. Come on, we gotta get back to Hada. I don't think I'm able to intercept any of those. There's a lot of them, though. Yeah. Looks like our carrier force is engaging somewhat. Okay, we're refueled. We're probably going to lose Malapa, excuse me. Reinforcing fleet. I'll tackle that. Looks like just a merchant ship at the moment, but might as well hit it. Alright. Let's see here. These are much faster torpedoes, so they should be pretty good at hitting the target. I should have checked their max range before I launched those, actually. Oh well. Hopefully they'll hit. They should be much faster than those bigger ones, but they have less power. But since they are much faster, they're more likely to hit. And in this, hits matter more than overall power on medium ships like these ones. So if those both hit the merchant ship, it should go down, and they have acoustic guidance, so let's go ahead and just loiter and see if those hit. Let's go down to 2/3. So hopefully those will go in and both hit, because that might be able to sink her. Looks good. Looks good. Impact. 1 impact. 2 impacts. I don't know if that's enough to sink her. Is she sinking? Does not appear so. She's hit, but I don't think she's sinking. Assuming the damage control got on it pretty quick. So let's go ahead and bail, get more torps, and try to hit that again. I don't know if we'll get to them before they get to their place of origin, though. Okay, torpedoes are reloaded. Okay, doesn't appear they're reinforcing the battle. It appears they're just skirting around it. Get right alongside it. Throw in some more torps at that same merchant ship. Make sure it goes down this time. Okay, both torps are in the water. We'll see if those both hit and if they're any more effective than the last ones were. Down to 2/3 so we can loiter. Perfect. Like, I'm doing what you wouldn't do in reality. You wouldn't launch torps and then just hang out. You would just launch them and get as far away as you could. But since they haven't spotted me yet anyway, I figure hang out and give you guys a nice show to see where the torpedoes hit and how effective they are. As you saw in the last one, he took both and was fine. Definitely rocked it, but didn't kill it. Here's another impact. Another impact. Is that enough? Gotten 4 hits on our center line. Bring it down to 1/3. Just watch her for a moment, see if her damage control keeps up. Alrighty. She doesn't look to be too bad off. These torpedoes might just be too small. Like, I know I've sunk merchant vessels like these before, but that was a while ago when I last played this game. So it could just be that they nerfed the smaller torpedoes' damage. So let's go back to Hada, I guess, and see if we can't switch back to the old Mark 8s. Because even if it's easier to aim, I have to be killing stuff I'm hitting. Actually, might be able to swap to the Mark 14s now. Yeah, I can switch to the Mark 14s now. So I got better torpedoes in the end. That's fine. How about our guns? What are our guns currently? Just M2 machine guns, yeah. Utility weapon. Not really room for it. I didn't know you could put a howitzer on there. New stuff. Lots of new stuff. Alright. Now we got some Mark 14s. Let's go do some work with those. They have light acoustic guidance. Oh, there's even more ships going to enforce the Malapa invasion. See if I can't, if not intercept, at least bruise some of them. Okay, there's a merchant ship in here and a sub chaser. So, torpedoes ready. Wait for him to get up to speed from him loading in. Fire. I don't know if that'll hit or not, actually. I'll fire the second one just to be safe. Because I'm not trying to close the range too quickly on these boats. As the merchants, while you would think they're fairly unarmed, they have, as you can see on the back there, machine guns, AA guns all over them. Now that little sub chaser there might be an issue, even if I manage to sink the merchant ship, but we'll just kind of have to see. Let's go 2/3 so we can get a watch on this. I did wish when you were going to launch torpedoes, it would tell you a general timed impact so you'd know exactly when, if you missed. Because that's what they do for timing their torpedoes to see if the target was actually going to get hit or not, because there's no point sticking around longer if you know your target's going to get hit. Like, might get hit by that front one? Or did I just split the difference there? No, I hit him in the bow. Is that enough to sink it? Kind of hit the very front of it, so I don't know. It doesn't look like it. They're much better torpedoes in terms of payload, but in terms of actual damage, depends on where you hit. So if you hit just in the front of the bow like I just did, doesn't really work out. What do we got here? Another merchant ship. Let's flank him. Get as close as I can. Coastal tanker. It's refueling their forces. Another juicy target if I can manage to sink it. Let's close range to try to guarantee 2 hits this time. Doesn't help that I'm kind of fighting the ocean's physics here. But I mean, that's just how boats are. Keep closing, keep closing. Aim it up. Torp away. Torp away. Again, if we sink the big ship, fantastic. And then we can just kind of finish off the remaining escort fleet. I can't even really call it an escort. It's not very effective. I think it's just anti-air batteries more than anything. Anti-air escort, because those top bits on those tiny boats are machine gun pods. They're just 7.7s. So the only thing you'd be marginally effective against is mainly just planes, or I guess us, but we can handle it since we're running 50s. Is that going to impact? Right in the rear. Ooh, massive explosion there. Second one missed, but that first one did a number on him. Yeah, he's going down. Back up to full speed. Everybody man the weapons. We're going in. Alright. 50s, get ready to shred them. You have to kind of get lucky with the ammo, the magazining on ships. But when you do hit that magazine, oh, it is so satisfying. Nailing them with a torpedo and them just detonating like that, it's fantastic. Let's close range and finish this small fleet off. I do like how they have the side nets actually having physics. Beforehand, they were just static on there, but that's not how nets work, so, you know. This one's going to be the first one to come into range of the guns. 50 cals, get ready. We're going to send this guy to the bottom. Light him up. There he goes. Snatch up this RP. Light him up, 50s. Perfect. And that is another convoy sunk. Perfect. We might actually be able to upgrade to Mark 28s from that. Maybe. I don't remember how much they cost. Weapons, torpedoes. Okay, not the Mark 28s, but the Mark 15s. Well, does not have any guidance on it, but it does hit very hard. Okay. I'd prefer to have the Mark 14s, so no, the Mark 14s don't even have any guidance period. It says it has a magnetic detector, but I don't think so. I want to get the Mark 28s because they have very good guidance, but there's also these Mark 27s. It's not very explosive, has pretty good guiding, so they're good as a secondary torpedo rack more than anything. Let's just go stick with the Mark 14s. And can't afford these quite yet. Some depth charges. Nah, not yet. Not yet. Okay, we're nearly there, though. Alright, let's get into one more fight before we end the episode. Or see what we can find before then. As I'm just kind of assisting Malapa by not really assisting Malapa. Yeah, there's a destroyer, a couple sub-chasers. I don't know if I'd be able to get away, and I don't want sunk again. Let's patrol Abu Abu. Okay, they have air bases all over these now, which is really bad. Nope. Got some targets going to Ulawa. They must be reinforcing to try to fortify them. Hello. What we got here? Oh. The one time I didn't pack any depth charges. Well, engage those once we've got something to engage them with. In the meantime, let's just hit this. No, I'm not trying to engage the subs. There we go. Merchant ship. I'm very close to them, though. Drop those torps and bugger out before he opens up with his AA guns, because those hurt a lot when they notice you. Torpedoes are zooming in. Mark 14s in reality were awful, but in here they don't have the reliability temperaments. Those should detonate heavily, since they're center mass. Alright. Ooh, magazine explosion. Perfect. Alright, let's get in there and get that RP and... Well, once he sinks. Because he should sink from that. Let's go and take on his assistants, because he is burning. Yeah, he's actively going down. Let's go knock out his escorts. And that should give us enough RP to get some depth charges. I wasn't planning on getting the depth charges. I was planning on upgrading to give myself some extra torpedoes. But if there's going to be supply subs out already, might as well. Oh, hello, sub-chaser. Go ahead and deal with that patrol boat real quick, so we can just focus all of our fire on that sub-chaser. Sub-chasers hurt, but you can't torpedo them, they're too small. Perfect. That's another task force wiped. Let's get some supply, head back to port, and then I think we'll call it a day there. Perfect. Let's head back to port. Back to Hata again, I suppose. Seems our fleet is doing okay at defending that. Okay. Pause that. That will be it for this episode. This time we got to see me hit a lot more targets with torpedoes. I didn't And we also got to see the problem with some of the smaller torpedoes that have good tracking. They don't have much in the way of explosive mass, so I'm wondering if maybe they were nerfed again. Other than that, though, we will pick this one up within the next week and continue it on. The Warband one will be coming, I believe, it'll either next or the one after. It depends on what's going on in life at the time, as this is a lot easier to record and on a lot shorter issues. I don't have to deal with finicky warband. All right, that'll be it for this episode. Have a good one.